Because of the great response to the last video, I decided to make a second part. There were more stories I hadn't included in the first one, thanks to all the subscribers and to the new ones joining the community. But this time, I will tell you something I didn't share before. For some reason, whenever we traveled at night, I was the only one of my siblings who stayed awake watching the road, hoping to see the old man from the mountain again. In Zacatlan, Puebla, there is a half-forgotten tale from the 1980s. Treasure hunters hoping to find the lost riches buried through this valley since the Mexican Revolution began reporting strange encounters. They spoke of an old man always seen on the base of a hill, sometimes seated, sometimes standing, his face pale, hollow, close to death, emotionless. When spoke, he will raise one hand slowly and point toward a cave from which blue flames flickered into the night. He will say only this: "You must not enter without permission." But some hunters ignore him. They thought he was just a local or a ghost meant to scare them. Then the impossible happened. One of them vanished instantly, only to reappear miles away. Disoriented, unable to speak, the other stood paralyzed, his memory whipped, confused as to why he was even there. Local legends say this old man is the guardian of cursed treasure, riches that cannot be taken without permission or without a price. So, here is the warning. If you ever see an old man near blue flames in the night, don't look twice. Turn around, retrace your steps, and leave the way you came. Near Acapulco, there once paradise city that in the last century was visited by international movie stars. In a rural area close to Chilapa, Guerrero, a forgotten tale from the 1960s, the golden era of Acapulco, still lingers in whispers. A pair of young farmhands, after finishing their day's work, set off to return home. But as the night fell, they realized they were lost, and with the night came its dangers. Desperate, they spot a small candlelight house in the middle of the jungle. They approach, knock the door, and an elderly couple open it. The old man and woman didn't ask questions. They spoke very little. They offered them a place to sleep, warm blankets, and even a cup of coffee. But the next morning, something terrifying happened. The boys woke up not in a house, but lying among branches, dirt, and leaves. There was no sign of the home, no trace of the old couple, only rocks and overgrown weeds surround them. But that wasn't the worst part. Burned into their clothing were symbols of maize and braided hair, scourged in strange, delicate patterns. The Nawa version of the story says they were visited by the guardian spirits of the corn. If you don't respect the land, they say, the spirits will lead you deep into the jungle, never to return. But these two guys, they were spared. The spirits helped them, and that's why they are still alive. In the highlands of Tlaxcala, near to the towering and unpredictable Popocatépetl volcano, there is a story that began to circulate back in the 1960s when the once silent volcano woke from its slumber. It stayed with young shepherds, guiding their animals to graze near the volcano's slopes. At the time, rumbling and columns of smoke began to rise from the crater, signs that something ancient was stirring. That's when they saw him, an old man standing alone in the fields. He looks simple, quiet, dressed like a humble peasant, almost bleeding into landscape. But something felt from his eyes, deep, heavy with time, never blinked. He didn't look at them. He didn't stop walking. But as he passed, they heard him say, "Leave, you shouldn't be here. Danger is coming." The boys exchanged looks. They whispered to each other, then turned around and took their animals home. Hours later, the volcano erupted. Locals call him the grandfather of the volcano. They believe he is the guardian spirit of Popocatépetl, watching over those who live near its base. They say that those who ignore his warning lose their animals, get trapped by fire and falling rock, of course, vanish without a trace, slowed by the volcano's fury. He doesn't appear often, but when he does, a chilling warning passed down for generations must be remembered. If you see him, obey, or the mountain will take its price. In the Sierra Mixe region of Oaxaca, there is a quiet but chilling story from the 1990s. A young man during school vacation was sent to help his family with the corn harvest. Maize, the sacred food of Mexico. But the field, the milpa, was in another village, one that could only reach by footpaths within through the forest mountains. While walking through the woods, the young man came across an older gentleman with a kind, warm demeanor. The man said he was the uncle of the landowner. He guided the boy through the forest, shared food with him, and they became close over the week. When they arrived at the village, they continued to talk every day. At the end of the job, the boy thanked the old man for his hospitality and set off back home. When he returned, he shared the story with the landowner, but the man fell silent. He with his face, tears filled his eyes. Then he said, "My uncle died 15 years ago. You were alone, boy. I never sent anyone with you." After that, the boy changed completely. He stopped speaking much, and he never wanted to return to the mountains again. Locals believe that some elders still remain not as a ghost but as protective spirits of the land. They do not harm you unless you question them. Not everything we see or believe to be real actually exists. Maybe it's all in your mind, or maybe not. Perhaps we should be grateful to whatever gives us a second chance. Listen, because nature speaks, and if animals can sense it, then maybe there is a reason. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. Leave a like to let me know if you like a third installment. And with that, stay safe, stay curious. See you next time.